Hello everyone, my name is Amal Albaladejo, and today I'm going to be giving you all a tour of FIT's Spark Digital Library. This can be accessed at the following URL. And the mission of Spark Digital is to showcase the rare and unique materials from the Spark collections that have been digitized. And their goal is to make the collections more widely available online to the FIT community and the general public. So speaking of, the intended user communities for Spark Digital is obviously FIT students, of course, but also people interested in the fashion industry, whether that be fashion history, fashion art like sketches, fashion photography. There's also costume, jewelry, shoes. Anyone who has an interest is welcome to access the digital library. And so that's why it has an open access policy. There's no need for a subscription or membership, not even an option. And so the stakeholders of Spark Digital is going to be Spark, of course, the Special Collections and College Archives, and then FIT is going to be its host institution. So if you navigate to their About tab is where you're going to find what Spark Digital's goals are, as well as a brief description of the collection. So the collection is going to include fashion sketches, photographs, illustrations, and historic fashion plates. So it's all going to be images. And then if you keep scrolling, it'll briefly go over a couple of the collections within the collection. And if you keep going, it'll tell you a little bit about the color search function, which I'll get into soon, and then rights and permissions. So to get into how the digital library works, there's going to be one main search button. It's always going to be up here on the top right. Except when you're on the home page, it'll be right here, right across the front and center. So very easy to find, very user-friendly. That is the only search option. There's no advanced search or anything like that, which some could see as a detriment, but I think it makes it, like I said, more easy to use, since one of their goals is to make the materials more accessible towards the public. Now there are a few ways you can narrow down your searches with their filtering system. So let's say searching for some hats. If you go right here under the search bar, you can filter results. You can do it by collection, name, format, rights, subject, medium, and even color. So I want to talk a little bit about the color function because I think it's really unique to this library. I've personally never seen anything like it in the way that Spark does it. So here, of course, you can pick a color and narrow it down that way. Or if we go to the images tab right up here, this is going to be all of the images the library has. You can keep going and going. But if you look at the top here, there'll be a couple of color swatches. So if I want to look through all the pink materials, I can easily browse them that way. And then there's a third way you can actually use this color function. If you click on an object, let's take a look at this shoe, they will actually analyze the image and pull out color swatches from the image. There'll be up to 5 of them, and these are clickable so that you can browse more items of that color. And then speaking of clickability, all of the metadata for an object is clickable as well, or most of it at least. So the metadata that's going to be on most objects is going to be the title, names, description, subject, date, format, identifier, is part of, rights, collection, and then a citation. And so, like I said, most of these are clickable. So if I wanted to go to subjects and take a look at more skirts, I can easily click that and look at all the skirts. And then another way of browsing through the collection, instead of just looking at all of the images, is we can look at the specific collections. And so most of the collections I've noticed are collections by designer. And then if you click on the little eye icon of a collection, it'll give you a brief little overview of the collection so you can get some context, which I think is helpful. And then if you click on it, of course, you'll see everything in the collection. And then a last way to browse are the exhibits. So these are more so curated collections that tell a story and put the objects into historical context, which I think makes them much more engaging, especially if you're not particularly a student or a researcher who's looking for something very specific and you're more so a fashion enthusiast. For example, if we go to hats off. So I guess this one was made by an intern on different fashionable headwear from the 1770s to 1920s. And you can kind of scroll through and take a look at all these different hats with descriptions. And so the last tab is going to be the About tab, which we were at earlier. Now this is where I noticed one of the areas the digital library is lacking is in a help section or some sort of contact section. There's no library resources really available on the digital library itself. All I could really find was like this contact us hyperlink embedded in a paragraph that a lot of people would probably miss. And then if you scroll down to the bottom to where the socials are, if you click the house icon, that will actually take you to the main FIT library where they're going to have more library services. But of course, this is for the overall library itself. So I think the digital library could really benefit from having another tab that has frequently asked questions, as well as a clear contact point if you wanted to reach out to someone within Spark. So yeah, that is everything that FIT Spark Digital has to offer. It's a relatively simple digital library, but I think it's very effective, makes it very easy to use for the public, and also serves the institution as well when the students are doing fashion research and all of that. Hope you guys all enjoyed this little tour. Go check it out for yourselves. It's really fun to browse through, especially if you're into fashion. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for listening.